Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM, the Ask Brien Radio Show. Well, today's an interesting day because it's a sad day too. We're going to be losing somebody. Patrick.
Hello.
Patrick. He was the engineer. He was also in charge of the E's.
That is true. That is true.
And he's going to be.
And now he's exiting.
That is very
He's going
true.
on to greener pastures.
Indeed.
I didn't even know he was a cow, but okay. Now,
easy there.
Easy's with an E too. See, he's the E-man. Easy, exit. I mean,
The E-man.
The E-man, exactly.
I'm revolting. I find this to be revolting, and I'm revolting.
Well,
I can't handle this. I'm sad.
Well, we're very glad, Traci, that you're going to be paying $200,000 a year to keep him around for this show. We really appreciate that, and just send your checks
I'm not
in.
that sad.
I haven't even gotten that check. So where's the money on that? I don't think I've seen that.
Well, that's because we're paying it in rupees.
Rupees? What
That's-
is this, Legend of
Yeah.
Zelda
That's
or
the
something?
that's the Indian currency
Oh,
from India.
Oh, it's also video game currency too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in the old days, it would have been lira before they had the European Union, because in lira, you could spend $900,000 for a taxi cab ride down the street.
Lyrics like music?
Oh,
No,
Lord,
lira.
Patty, I hear rabbit hole coming.
L-I-R-A.
Rabbit hole coming.
Well, we got to have a special long one today because, how often is it going to be his last day?
I mean, it's the last day to mean last.
I don't know.
I don't think you could have continuous last days.
I don't think he's coming back as a guest. And it's going to take quite a while for us to replace you. So we do
stop.
want to have, wish you a good luck. Even though we're supposed to be pessimistic, we'll fill the glass half full for you today.
Instead of half empty. Love it.
I didn't say half empty. It could be half empty. And it's going to be half full, but half full with whiskey. So,
I'll drink to that.
well, exactly, and no pun intended on the fact that you're Irish and that Brien is from O'Brien, the Ask Brien Show, Brien. And I know that Patrick loves the E, and he loves the fact that his name is not O'Brien, but
It's
I keep
not.
on
It is
busting
not.
his chops on it, just like I will the new person.
I knew a Patrick O'Brien.
The
He
new
was in
person's going to
elementary
have to
school.
start realizing that, his ancestors had a connection to O'Brien. Now, what is that tapping?
Someone's typing it.
Is that our guest, Mr. Olson?
Typing away.
Wow. Okay. It sounds like you're into Windows, so I don't know what that is. And Windows.
Work never ends for us bankers.
Oh, well, I won't say that, but we do have. Before we get into the show, we want Patrick to explain to us why Brien is spelled with an E. Why isn't it not spelled B-R-I-N or B-R-Y-A-N? And we have a new person, Matt. Say hello.
Hello.
All right.
That was a double hello.
Yeah. Well,
Love it.
he's echoing because he's trying. He knows how
No,
hard
that
it
was,
is.
that was two different people.
He has anxiety and he's got so much complexity with trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. So he got all nervous when we asked him. But are you there, Matt?
I'm here.
God, what is happening with all the days?
Oh, we have two.
Oh, there's two Matts here. We have engineer Matt.
No,
and
we
then,
have two engineer Matts.
wait, we have two. Well, I'm getting lost. We have KHTS engineer Matt, and then we have guest engineer
K-Rock.
Matt.
K-Rock engineer.
There we are.
All right.
Former engineer.
Former engineer, right. He went on to greener pastures too, just like our current Patrick.
If I may just offer a solution to this Matt debacle, you can refer to me as Freda. That's my last name. That might smooth the
All
seas
right.
here a little
Smooth
bit.
as
All right.
silk. I like
All
it.
right. So we have Matt and Freda. We also have a Matt Freda.
No, we had order.
Yes, but we have chaos. Mishigosh is a Jewish term. So let's go, Patrick.
Anyways.
Some people want to know, besides, me, why is this Brian spelled
Besides
with
you. Well, the E's.
Because I'm probably the only one who cares. But
Well, the E's happen to be the theme, kind of make up the theme of the Ask Brien Show. One of the most important ones is the engineer on the show, which happens to be right now Engineer Freda and Engineer Emily. We call her Double E.
double E. That sounds like a size.
Double E, because Emily and
Are you
engineer.
making fun of her size?
We literally
Are you
said
making
this
fun of
couple
her
weeks-
size, double E?
What? No, not
All
at
right.
all.
Oh my God, that's so inappropriate.
My God, Peter. Stop it.
Lord.
Lord,
And she-
okay. At
you
least you're
literally,
getting to know.
you literally called her Double E. She's like, oh, Engineer Emily, Double E. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a good nickname.
It's a
I
science.
mean,
Anyway,
he's an attorney. He should know better.
Tracy.
not
help.
on this show.
Tracy,
I'm
help.
not an attorney on the
Help. SOS.
I mean,
show. So anyway, why is
yeah,
Brian
let's recover from that.
Anyways.
trying to find out what the E's are? You know, Patrick has been doing this for enough time. I would think that he would know them all. Plus the calculation that he's going to have a very difficult time on. But Emily will help him out.
Yeah, I'm not
as,
doing the
as usual.
I'm not doing the math for that again.
Emily will help you out. Don't worry. You're not helping.
Patty's like, I don't have to do the math anymore, and I'm not gonna.
We'll have to have Freda do it. Go ahead. We'll
uh,
test out his math skills. Go ahead.
Boy. He's giving the no. You don't have to. You don't have to, Freda. You don't have to. As far as that, there's experts, because experts make up the what was it? No, experts appear on the Ask Brien Show.
Are you an expert?
Apparently now. Apparently
I
now
don't
am.
know because of our calculation, but we do have a show to do, so we do need to go over some of these E's in a quicker manner.
Right. Experience is another one because we were very experienced in our field.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Something with math.
And is Emily going to help out or not? Emily's not going to help out. All right, we got a tough.
Emily's
show.
not ever speaking to you again, so you better just get used to it.
Well, that would
I
be
mean,
actually.
I wonder why.
That would be a compliment. Great. All right. So she can be like Harpo from the Marx Brothers. Never ever spoke after he didn't complain about a fire, didn't yell fire in a theater, so he refused to speak after that.
What?
Yeah, that's called a tidbit.
I have no idea.
I'll explain
What?
it to you later.
I mean, everything. I feel like I'm in an alternate universe right now.
I
just wanna
seriously,
say
I
that.
feel like I'm in a dream right now, like surreal.
Well, but
No, I think that would be a nightmare, Patty. But whatever.
That's
well,
true.
you
That's
would only
true.
be in another world if you were abducted. So anyway,
I wonder
Right.
if
By
it was.
aliens.
exactly. And we are not an alien show.
Extraterrestrials, actually. Really should say extraterrestrials.
Extraterrestrial. That starts with an E. There we go.
All right. Well, we do got to get a little
That's
quicker
it.
going on here. So.
Enthusiasm is one. And what's your favorite one?
Excitement.
I'm sorry. What?
You want me to repeat?
No. 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 I'm not even. No. No.
You ever have hear of Sam Kinison, the screamer?
I heard him once and.
Yeah. Well, you heard him again. All right. So,
never again.
what are the other reasons why we have an E?
I'm trying to think. I'm actually.
How about
trying-
the most important one?
Oh, education.
Thank you.
Because we were educated
All right.
people.
Have you ever heard the term quiet quitting? Patty has quietly quit this role on the show. He's just like, I don't do this anymore. I'm exiting.
Well, that's because he's got
Exiting's an E.
exiting his.
Yes, it is. It's the one I added today just for you. Dang it.
Dang, it does not have any in it. But go ahead.
It doesn't have an E in it. Oh, Tracy, what's your favorite? Let's go with your favorite one.
My favorite one is in memory of Olivia Newton-John from Grease Lightning
R.I.P.
because we are electrifying.
Not Grease Lightning.
That is Grease Lightning.
It's Grease Lightning electrifying. I thought.
It could go in numerous ways.
All right, we're gonna have. I want Freda to do one, so I'm
Oh,
gonna
boy.
write it down for him. You have a pen? Get with the program.
Be nice to him.
That's
My
so
goodness.
needy.
That's about as nice as I
So
can go.
needy,
That's as
yeah.
nice as I can go.
That's needy with a couple extra E's in that.
We're both New Yorkers, so that's why we have that same. We understand that. So this is a word, one of the E's, and he's going to tell us what it is and what it means.
Well, I'm gonna try to read this chicken scratch, but it looks like it says empathy.
Oh,
Well, that wasn't empathetic when you told me about chicken scratch. Right?
Yeah, not too empathetic, I guess. No.
Obviously not.
Hi, Jerry.
Jerry does
I'm
not
getting
begin.
looks. I'm
Jerry does
getting
not
looks.
begin with an E, but there is the letter E in
But
Jerry.
she does have an E in it, correct? All right. That was an interesting one. I thought
starts
maybe
with
she'd
an I.
come in and scream for us, but I guess not. Any other E's?
I'm actually on the spot right now. I'm like zoning out. What am I missing? Experience, empathy. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports.
Well, we had one that we added on, which is what our show is for, entrepreneurs.
Oh, that one.
So,
That was late. That one came in late. Come on, that one came in
well,
late.
yes, but you have been around long enough that you should know them all. But we do have to get
It's an emotional day today. What can I say?
so while
Hey.
So while we really did want to have you on for the full show today, we do have a great guest, and we want to get into his background and how he can help out people. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
When you can, when you got a free Thursday, you want to come by and do a couple E's, let us know. We won't do anything for you, but it's nice to know the thought.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Patty, I'm
Patrick.
going to miss you. I don't know how I'm going to survive the show without you. I just want to say I'm going to miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too, Trace.
He'll call in every once in a while.
We'll never hear from him again. Trust me.
Remember, Tracy, money talks.
This is it.
I still
We don't
haven't
have
seen
any
that
money.
money. Still haven't seen that money. So.
We don't have any money. He's never going to talk to us again. He's never even going to think of us again. It's
Don't worry,
over.
Tracy said the podcast is to start bringing in lots of money, and then she'll be able to pay Patrick separately. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sep-
I never
separate
said
contract,
that. I never said that. It's been great, Patty. I know how this works.
It's been great. I'm gonna miss you, Trace. I'm gonna miss you.
Thanks a lot. We really
course.
appreciate it. Best of luck. And
No, we love you. We do.
Aw,
We love you. We'll
thank
miss
you.
you.
Thank you.
well, some of us will anyway. That's a nice point.
Ouch.
All right. So, without any further ado,
ADIEU.
and why do I like that word?
Because every single letter minus the D is a vowel.
Thank you. Now our guest is like, what did I get into? Even when I was doing K-Rock, I never heard of this Mishigosh. And how did I get into this show? But anyway, thanks again, Patrick.
Of
Best of
course.
luck for you. Thank you, Mr. Freda. And we're going to go live for the show. Mr. Olson, Mr. K-Rock.
Yes, sir.
All right. So my understanding is you have transitioned over the last, I don't know how long period, but you are in the banking business. So how can you help our listeners in banking? Give us some examples. Do you help small business owners?
Yeah, absolutely. Small business is a big part of what we do. Torrey Pines is a commercial bank. So unlike a lot of banks that you see, like the big banks like Wells and B of A and all the Chase and all the big ones, we're a commercial bank. So we're not a retail bank. So we don't have branches on every corner and in supermarkets and places like that. So we work with all kinds of businesses, small businesses, large businesses, institutional investors, you name it. But small business is a big part of what we do. And so we have specialized programs for small businesses, both lending and depository programs.
So what about for a startup? So let's say I started up a new business and, I have some money. Maybe I have a $25,000, $30,000, not a lot. I'm just starting out, new business, and it's online. Are there any programs for somebody like that, or do I have to have more revenue, more money before I can start getting loans?
We have businesses that bank with us that have $2,500 as opposed to $25,000. So
I told you
it
not
really
to tell
runs
them.
the gamut as far as companies. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that are launching businesses that are bootstrapping it with funds from friends and family. So it really depends in terms of what the needs are, but we have small business checking programs for small businesses that aren't doing a lot of transactional volume, and maybe they're all online, and that's where all their business comes from, is through like a shopping cart type of arrangement. So certainly businesses like that. We also have a business and consumer lending group within the bank that will lend money up to about $500,000 for small businesses. Now, startups are a little bit trickier for them because their programs require 2 years of operating history in order to qualify for a loan somewhere between $10,000 and $500,000. But then in addition to that, we also are a preferred lender with the Small Business Administration, or SBA, lending program, which is the government lending program guaranteed by the government.
So I did want to ask, go a little different direction. So, a lot of people are using Stripe and Square, and I think they pay 3 to 3.5% for credit cards to be able to accept credit cards. I don't know if people are aware of this. You obviously are, but when somebody uses a credit card, the businesses charge anywhere from 1.5 to 3.5%. And there are companies out there such as Square and Stripe online that easily will accept credit card payments, but they do take 3 to 3.5% typically of that. And so, does your bank offer merchant processing?
So we do. Actually, we use a large national merchant processing company that works with hundreds of banks. And so they handle the merchant processing for clients. And for any merchant processor, big or small, it basically doesn't matter to them where you're banking. You just have to tell them where to send the money that they're processing for you through your products or services. So basically, any bank can receive money from a merchant processing company. You just have to tell them what bank, so the routing number and then the account number at the bank that you're at.
And can you beat the rates at Square and Stripe, or?
So it typically they'll be very competitive on the rates because they're a large national firm. They can kind of sharpen their pencils when they want to. So it certainly is something that they'll attempt to do. The challenge on the merchant processing is typically those payment prices for the charging what they call gateway fees and some of the other fees that are involved when you use a credit card and process online is really set up by the large like Visa and MasterCard. They really dictate a lot of the costs that are involved in transacting and using cards on their what are called their payment rails. So they somewhat set the pricing in a lot of cases.
Interesting. And now, on your lending programs, okay, for a startup, if you do not have the 2 years of operations, because you're in that category of 0 to 24 months, how do you offer other loan programs for those people?
So the SBA 7A lending program will work with startups. The government program will allow you to lend based on projections. So you can be a startup and say, this is how much we expect to make next year. And so banks that are SBA lenders can craft a loan based on projections, which is unusual for most lending types of arrangements. And typically, like with our small business group, you got to have a couple of years of history. So that way you can see kind of, what the business is doing. In the case of the SBA 7A program, you can base it on projections.
So not everyone's familiar with the SBA program. My knowledge is limited as well, that basically the Small Business Administration will guarantee the loan, but they have very, very strict requirements to do that. So go over that a little bit, and also specifically the 7A program and how somebody could get involved in that.
Sure. So the 7A program is for businesses, and it's based on a loan amount up to $5 million is the ceiling of the loan program with the SBA 7A program. It's different from the other SBA program, which is the 504 lending program, which is for real estate. So if you're going to buy a building and operate your business, that loan, that 504 program loan, allows you to basically put 10% down and then finance 90%. And then the benefit of that is that the requirement of that is you have to occupy 51% of the building. It's based on square footage, so as long as you're occupying over 50% of the building, then typically you can qualify for the 504 loan program. The 7A program is really more focused on businesses, and so that can be inventory, it can be working capital, it can be for a lot of different things. And like I said before, in the case of that one, it's based on projection income, so you can build a loan based around what you expect to make from operating the company. The government guarantees generally 75% of the loans in the SBA program. So the banks do have a portion of the risk that they take, but it's only generally around 25%. So it's very palatable to the banks because they're not taking on all the risk. They're taking on a quarter of the risk, and the government is shouldering the rest of the burden if the business fails and can't pay the loan.
So the 501, is that just for real estate?
504, yeah, that's a real estate. That's basically an owner-occupied real estate finance program.
And we're going to be taking a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
At Jersey Mike's, we make a sub above. Bread baked fresh, veggies served crisp, meat and cheese sliced on the spot. Then comes the juice. Red wine vinegar and olive oil blended to perfection. It's what makes a Jersey Mike's sub a sub to behold. And beholding? Well, we think that works best with 2 hands. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Your Santa Clarita Jersey Mike's, a proud sponsor of Santa Clarita Sports.
The KHTS Home and Garden Show is now accepting vendors for our 12th annual event on Saturday, April 29th and Sunday, April 30th, 2023 at Central Park. Get in front of 20,000 Santa Clarita homeowners. Join over 400 vendors at our Valley's biggest trade show. Hurry, space is filling up fast for certain categories. Many vendors call our show the best use of their marketing dollars. To register, visit scvhomeshow.com. Admission and parking are free. scvhomeshow.com.
It's the best hamburger you've ever had.
Telly's.
Telly's Charburgers. Mouth-watering perfection. Beer on tap. House-made desserts. Gluten-free items and vegan as well. Experience an old-fashioned drive-thru. Telly's lost in the 50s, found in the 90s, and tuned up in the 2020s in their new location at Plum Canyon just off Whites Canyon.
Telly's Charburgers, where nostalgia is back.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Burgers, shakes, salads, and so much more. Experience Telly's at their new location.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
We salute our veterans who sacrifice for our freedom. Every week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com. Thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
Visit hometownstation.com, sponsored by Eternal Valley.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM with our double engineers, Emily and Freda. Anyway, the Ask Brien radio show, we have Matt Olson today. And Matt, we were going over just before our break about the SBA program, the 7A program. Now, the 7A program specifically goes for working capital, and at that point, you do not have the 2-year requirement. Is that the only SBA program like that?
The SBA program is really, the 7A program is really designed for newer businesses. The program that I was talking about is through our business and consumer lending group. It's a specialized program. It's our program, so it's not a government-backed or any other type of program. The nice thing about our internal program is they have a streamlined loan program for up to $100,000, and it's really very simplistic. It requires 2 years of operating history, and then basically they look at a FICO score of the borrower and business credit score of the business. And so that's the primary reason they need the 2 years is because they need to be able to use the credit scoring system that's available to try to figure out, is this a credit-worthy business? So that program, you can loan up to $100,000, and there's no financials required. It's very, very basic. And it works really well for small businesses, again, but you have to have the 2-year operating history.
So what would happen if you're in year one? Is there any program?
So year
available?
one, it's not enough time to qualify for that loan program. And that includes the program, the non-streamlined program with our internal group that goes from $100,000 to $500,000. That you need financials for that, tax returns, to be able to utilize that program from the $100,000 to the $500,000.
And there's no.
What would you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Peter.
And then I'll turn it over to you. Is there any auditing requirement for that or no?
No.
Okay, so they don't have to be.
No, it could be internal financials. It could be your QuickBook financials. But we do want to see tax returns as well to back up the financials on that $100,000 to $500,000.
Okay, Traci?
Well, I was just going to say, like, what if you're someone, because, entrepreneurs are visionaries. They change their minds. They pivot a lot in terms of their strategies. So what if you had been an established business owner under one business and that you were operating a DBA out of, for example, and then that DBA takes on a life of its own, it's successful, so you pull it out from under that and it becomes its own, but is that considered just like a whole new company at that point without taking into consideration maybe a long history prior to that?
Not typically, no, because the DBA is filed on whatever the other company was that initiated the doing business as. So typically you're looking on a DBA, you're looking at who that company rolls up to, or the main company that's been incorporated or is an LLC and is registered. So if they split that company off into a separate entity, then you'd probably look at maybe restructuring the loan for that new company if it's a spinoff.
Right. Yeah, I was just thinking like that if they weren't seeking financial loans until after that they branched off, would you be considering the history prior to that with the new LLC?
Yes, if they have the same ownership, especially, you'd say, okay, there's this new business that came out of the old business, but the old business has been around for 2 or more years, and it's the same people running it that are running the new one, then you would be able to incorporate that history.
Great. I'll just talk to you after. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
And what if you switch from a furniture store to an online digital clock company?
Well, I just think this leads to our bigger picture question, which is, it's a very difficult, I think, our country is based on entrepreneurship and building out your dream. And then at the same time, as an entrepreneur, you want to lower your taxable income because that's one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So talk us through the challenges that entrepreneurs are facing right now, whether it's getting a personal mortgage, whether it's getting business financing, just like borrowing money if you're an entrepreneur is not always an easy path.
Oh, absolutely not. No, it's a very much of a catch-22 situation. You need money for growth, but you can't get money unless you have operating history or you have strong financials or you have all of these things that generally entrepreneurs and startup businesses don't have. So it can be very challenging. Fortunately, there's options where there are microloan programs for a lot of businesses now in either state or city type microloans or even private microloan programs. So that's an option. There's certainly the equity route where with angel investors or, startup kind of incubators where they will basically work with companies to kind of launch them, maybe give them some initial funding. There are a couple of different programs. There's a program over in Santa Monica called Expert Dojo where they take startups and basically give them like $50,000 to kind of get going. And then they take a piece of the company if it's successful. So that's how they kind of hedge their investment in that sense. But entrepreneurs they're a very, very sturdy bunch. They take on a lot of risk initially. Usually they fund their companies with their own money, credit cards, friends and family type investing, and then hopefully they get to a point where they can interest an angel investor or in some cases maybe private equity. The challenge in that environment is you're giving up a portion of the company or all of the company in some cases potentially to get the funding that you need to grow the company. But in some cases, that's the only way that startups and entrepreneurs can get money to grow, because the banks, it's very challenging for a bank to lend money to a new entity. There's no history, which is what banks tend to want to think about or look at when they come to making the decision on making a loan to an individual or a company. So it's a very challenging environment for entrepreneurs. My goal is to try to help them any way I can. And in some cases, it's just at least getting them a bank account so they have some kind of established relationship with a bank. And then we can look at them trying to do loans for them after they have a period of time where they're operating with us.
And you mentioned the microfund companies. As a business owner myself, I get a lot of solicitations, if you will. I'm not exactly sure how to even discern whether they're spam or not spam. You're pre-qualified for this. Your Dunbarry score is this. You have leftover PPA money this. And it's really hard because you think, how do you tell? Are those just all spam? Are they all scams, or is it? I feel like I'm old school. I'd rather have a relationship with my bank, like a person like you who you can pick up the phone and talk to. But that just doesn't seem practical anymore. And how do you know who's for real and who's trying to give you, scam your information?
That's a good question.
We're going to have to hold on.
The answer is it's very difficult. I mean, there's certainly avenues that you can employ. Number one, the Better Business Bureau is always a great place to check to see if there's a reputation on the, especially a private lender or a third party that's offering you a credit card or something like that. Certainly that's one route. And then certainly looking to see if the company's established, is it registered in Delaware? Usually you can look at state websites to look up businesses on a business portal to see if they're registered or not. And that's one of the first ways to check and see is, do they have registration somewhere? Or certainly a web search. The web's an incredible tool to look and find good things and bad things about companies and individuals. So certainly, do some due diligence on your part, especially if it's going to involve you sharing any kind of personal information or business information with a third party. Banks want relationships, and certainly we are very, very much a relationship bank. And so the challenge for the big banks is you're a very small fish in a very large ocean with the Wellses and the Chases and the big national or international banks. So that's one area where we can play against the big banks because we're smaller. And so for us, we're more personalized, and we generally work with our clients and we reach out to our clients and we answer emails and phone calls. So that's a big start in terms of differentiating yourself from a lot of the other banks that are out there.
We got to take a break. We're going to hear from our sponsor right now. We'll be right back.
SCVI is a tuition-free TK through 12 charter school that gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely. We offer a customized learning program built around your child's unique interests and strengths, with the only international baccalaureate program in all of Santa Clarita. Our approach keeps students and families in step no matter where your learning is taking place. Be empowered to make your mark on the world at SCVI. To take a tour or enroll now in our one-of-a-kind program, visit ileadsantaclarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
Do you suffer from peripheral neuropathy in your hands or feet? One drug after another, continuing numbness, tingling, burning pain, balance problems, decreased quality of life? Are you experimenting with drugs like Lyrica, Neurontin, gabapentin, Cymbalta with limited success and your doctor telling you just have to live with it? My name is Dr. Thomas Pilecki, DC, host of Get Better with Dr. Pilecki and founder of Neuropathy Dr. X. I'm here to tell you that there is now a non-invasive natural solution to your neuropathy right here in Santa Clarita. A solution that addresses the underlying causes, and we're proud to say that we have an 87 to 97% success rate with neuropathy sufferers in getting their lives back. I'd like to invite you to our next seminar, when we'll teach you how to reverse this deadly condition that affects over 50 million Americans today. To reserve your spot now, call 753-9340. This is a free seminar, but seating is limited, so call 753-9340 now.
Welcome to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, where life-changing moments happen daily. Set out on safari and discover 1,800 acres of sprawling savannas teeming with wildlife, as well as world-class botanical gardens. There's no place like it on Earth. Encounter rhinos, giraffes, wildebeest, and large herds of wildlife roaming together. Journey through the bamboo forests and come face to face with Sumatran tigers. Hop alongside kangaroos and dive underwater to meet the only two platypuses outside of Australia and experience the awe-inspiring giants of Elephant Valley. When you're here, you'll discover adventure is in every moment, and a moment can change a lifetime. For your family's ticket to fun, visit San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.org. That's San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.org.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years' experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
No words can describe the power of belonging to a group of close friends or being part of a family. Insight Treatment Center was founded more than 20 years ago to give teenagers a community of friends and family as they overcome issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma. The new Santa Clarita location is a COVID-secure environment where distance and good airflow are a priority. As a leader in providing intensive outpatient treatment to teenagers, Insight Treatment Center in Santa Clarita is here to help. Call 888-295-9995 or go online to insighttreatment.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. So we have our sponsor, Albany Farms. Are you there?
I am here. Hello.
Wow, it's hard to hear. But anyway, so what is Albany Farms? Because you are sponsoring the show, and people don't know what Albany Farms is. I know it's Twisted Noodles. What is Twisted Noodles?
So Twisted Noodles is our brand name for our company, Albany Farms. And Twisted Noodles is yummy ramen noodles.
Well, yummy.
But
why is it different than any other ramen noodle?
Our ramen noodles are more premium, and they're more premium than your everyday Marachon Nissan noodle that you see out there on the shelf. But at the same time, they're still affordable for our consumers. So we call it Twisted Noodles because we're going to shake up the ramen category and twist things up a bit and come up with some unique flavors that you don't see every day.
So is that what you mean by twisted, the unique flavors that you're going to have?
That's right.
And where and when are people going to be able to get this product?
So we're going to launch mid-September. You can find us in all of Walmart Canada stores. And you can also find us in H-E-B stores here in the United States. And also a few hundred Target stores. We'll start there, but our plan is to be on every grocery shelf out there.
And you have another company that's also sponsoring this, and I don't know what it's all about. People have asked me, and I'm confused myself. What is Legal Steps?
Legal Steps, spelled with a Z, S-T-E-P-Z.
You know, all these unique concepts here. Brien spelled with an E. Steps is spelled with a Z. I don't think anyone can spell, but anyway.
I definitely can't.
And is that with an apostrophe T or C-A-N-N-O-T, 2 words? Anyway, let's get...
Wait, you just asked me a hard question.
Your name is Mandy, M-A-N-D-Y, not with an I. All right, so...
That's right.
We have alphabet issues. I think we need to rename this alphabet soup.
Well, that's why we had Patty, and now we're going to have Freda become our Mr. E person because we need to explain to people what these letters are. But what is Legal Steps?
So Legal Steps is basically a how-to guide on, basically just how to become it's a guide to teach you how to become an entrepreneur or how to start your own business, whether it be how to fund your business or how to pick your business location or how to register your business or get tax IDs. This guide can help answer all your questions, basically.
Well, it sounds like an end all, and not only that, but we could probably connect that with Matt, who's the banker, because I'm thinking he probably has all those people that need all that information as well. Thank you very much, Mandy. Appreciate you on here. We're going to go back to our show on the Ask Brien radio show. So we had stopped you, Matt. We were asking you questions. Traci had a question she was asking you, and if you can finish that up, if you need more clarity on what that question was, we can go through that.
Please don't ask me because I don't even remember after all of this.
Your name is Traci with an I, not with a Y. Because again, we have alphabet issues.
Yeah. I'm Traci with an I, and what we were talking about was relationships with banks versus the digital landscape and how important that is whenever it's possible. But how is it even possible anymore? The industry has changed so much.
Yeah, that's very true. However, one of the, positive outcomes of COVID was that banks had to learn how to open accounts and deal with people that couldn't, come in and sign things like they used to do back in, a few years ago. So a lot of the documentation now that's done is done online. So now a lot of banks, especially a bank like ours, it's not a retail bank with branches per se, is working with lots of clients that have online only businesses. So it's much less of an issue these days, and that was largely because of a response to being able to transact with COVID being an issue everywhere. So it's not really an impediment now. A lot of the companies that we work with and banks in general work with, they don't handle cash. All of their payments are electronic or maybe a few paper checks, but majority of transactions now are electronic, either electronic payments or merchant processing that they're taking, cards over their websites through shopping carts. So.
Well, and then so how important is the what they call the stickiness factor with a client, with a business owner? Because I know one of the things that you were saying earlier was that you wanted them to at least get started with a bank account. So is that usually the relationship area of entry, if you will? Is businesses will come to you and they'll activate either a business checking and or savings account, and then you'll be able to build a relationship with them from there?
Yeah, yes, very much so. The deposit account, the bank account really kind of starts things off, and that once you have that piece built, then you can build on a lot of other things, especially cash management products and services like online wires, online payments to the automated clearinghouse or ACH payments. And the more that those products and services get added, and then the more that you can offer loan opportunities, then like you said, the stickier the client gets. And banks all want that. They want to offer as many services as they can, because the more services that you have, the less likely it is you're going to be able to pull away and go somewhere else.
Thank you, Matt. We got to take a break. Listen, KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM.
The shows must go on. The Main in Santa Clarita is your destination for free online music, theater, art, and entertainment opportunities. Tune into fun variety nights, join a talent show, learn from filmmaking experts, attend a modern play, and more from the comfort of your home. For more information and to view upcoming events, go to facebook.com/themain-newhall or at themain.org. Enjoy the shows.
For unexpected illnesses or minor injuries, Facey Medical Group has you covered. Our immediate care office in Valencia is staffed with physicians and clinicians who have experience in treating a variety of health issues. We also offer same-day advanced imaging. Facey Immediate Care has extended office hours during the week and open weekends and holidays. For more information or to make an in-person or virtual appointment, go to facey.com. That's FACEY.com. Facey, let us care for you today.
This is Bradley from Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program serving children, families, and individuals experiencing food insecurities. Since January 2020, Santa Clarita Grocery has distributed 83 tons of fresh groceries to 4,465 families in the SCV. Santa Clarita Grocery is a drive-up, drive-through service with physical distancing in place to continue serving our community. If you are in need or looking for a charity to do the most good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery, one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. A full 99 cents out of every dollar goes directly back to the community. Santa Clarita Grocery operates on a 1% overhead and is sustained through private donations. Santa Clarita Grocery is at 21176 Center Point Parkway in the Oasis Furniture parking lot. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or our Facebook at Santa Clarita Grocery to make a difference in our awesome town community. 661-425-7575. Be our guest and experience the difference.
Many families face a new challenge. Childcare has forced one parent out of the workforce. Otter has created a solution. Otter is a childcare marketplace that connects Santa Clarita parents who need childcare with stay-at-home parents who can care for your kids alongside their own. Otter unlocks the ability for those parents to earn money and provide badly needed childcare for our valley. Otter connects you with your neighbors. Register for free at withotter.com. Withotter.com. Otter, childcare that feels like family.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. Traci was going to ask Matt some information we can have for our viewers, listeners.
Well, Matt, we've been talking a lot about relationships and building relationships, and I was asking you before we came back from the break, what areas of geography of businesses do you work with? But, if someone's listening and they love what you're saying and they want to see if you can help them out, what is the best way for someone to get in touch with you to continue the conversation?
Sure. My email address is my first initial, last name, M. Olsen, O-L-S-E-N, at Torrey Pines Bank. That's Torrey, Pines, P-I-N-E-S, bank.com. Or you can reach me on my direct line, 310 area code 623-8908 anytime. I usually roll my office line to my cell phone after hours, so if it goes to me later than 9 to 5 Monday through Friday banking hours, I'll pick it up off my cell.
You heard it here, people. He gave you his phone number to call him. So if you want to get a loan, you better be getting on the phone.
Although I think that's a big mistake, but go ahead. Anyway,
we'll find out.
And by the way, bankers' hours are not 9 to 5; they're 10 to 4. But okay.
Well, if you didn't get that number and write it down fast enough, you have the opportunity to download the Ask Brien Show as a podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and we have packed full information not only from this episode, but all of our previous episodes. So head on over to Apple, Spotify, and anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast and subscribe, follow the Ask Brien, B-R-I-E-N podcast. And also feel free to leave us one of those 5-star reviews. We love those so much.
Well, that's incredible. Do you have any more questions? We have about 30 seconds to a minute left. Traci?
Well, I would just say if you had one thing to advise someone who is trying to scale a business, should they try to bootstrap, or should they just try to come straight to you and get started out with a good foundation?
I would say come to me. If I can help in any way possible, I'll certainly, see what programs we have internally, or I'm part of a large professional networking group, and I have access to all kinds of folks.
That's so great. I love that you're so resourceful and so helpful to businesses who are trying to grow. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, guys. Over and out. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM, the Ask Brien Show. Available on podcast as well. Thank you very much.